It's time for the return of Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz after the Australian Open, and we're in Doha at the Qatar Open to give our thoughts, preview and prediction.
That's right, the big boys are back. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. And Carlos Alcaraz's first tournament since becoming Australian Open champion. That's right. I can't wait to see these two back on the court again. And they will be the favourites to get to the final. There's no doubt about that. But we're going to go through the draw on this one. We're going to give our reaction. I haven't really looked through it in any detail yet. I'm excited because we've had a few events going on this week, some good tennis as well being played across the board. The women's has just finished here. We've seen Karolina Muchova grabbing her first Masters title, which was really, really epic. I'm excited, JG.
Yeah, it should be a good one because Sinner is the marginal favourite with the bookmakers, 1.73, Alcaraz 1.95. Third favourite, Medvedev, he's nowhere near it. He went out in Rotterdam in the opening round to Ugo Umber, who eventually got to the semi-final. So good week for Umber, but Medvedev, a bit up and down still. He's not quite secured himself as a top 10 level player at this current present moment because there's too many ups and downs. We saw what happened with Lerner Tien and him yet again, and Medvedev a lot to prove. So it feels for me like it is a two-horse race between those. I'm not sure who can force themselves into that conversation, but that does mean potentially we do get a final of a Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. It's not a Masters event. It's an ATP 500 now. It used to be a 250. Last year was the first year of it being a 500. You can see Andre Rublev defeating Jack Draper in the final. Before that, you've had a mixed field, but Novak Djokovic has won it twice. Nadal, you can see, got to the final in 16. And won it in 2014. So a few big players along the way. Roger Federer winning it 3 times. In recent years, though, I remember that Bashashvili one where we was a bit shocked to see him come on and win the event. I think he was in a bad run of form before. And then he got to the final the year after against the same opponent.
Didn't he beat Roger in his comeback tournament or something like that?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But as you can see, this tournament, the Russians seem to do pretty well here. They are the last 3 champions, all different champions as well. Medvedev, Khachanov, and then Andre Rublev, who's won it twice. Rublev will be looking for a little bit of a turn in fortune, I'm sure. This would probably be an ideal event for him to do well at. I know that he likes it on these type of courts, and winning it twice, what better tournament for him just to get his season going? If he goes out early in this one, it could be curtains for his 2026.
Yes and no, but we've not seen an event with Alcaraz and Sinner in here in Qatar before. So
yeah,
it's between them two. And in terms of which way I see it going, I don't know. But let's wait and see. Of course, we've got a few matches to get to. There's no guarantee we'll get that final. It does look likely. I'm fascinated to see how they get on against some of the other players and if we can see a big surprise, because that's kind of what we're here for. If there is a big shock and someone's able to beat them, then I think they announce themselves in a big kind of way, because you'll start looking at them and thinking, okay, they've just beaten a Sinner and Alcaraz. This is someone who let's look to for the future. Can they go on and win Masters? Can they compete in Grand Slams? If they can beat Sinner and Alcaraz, then they definitely can.
I agree. Yeah, you're looking for the next best thing to come out of the tournament.
You've got to be special. You've got to be special, even I think, to get the odd win against them. So Bublik's done very well recently against them. Let's see who can here. We'll go on to the other events at the moment, because Bublik did get demolished by Felix, which I thought was quite interesting. Yeah. But let's stick to this draw and let's go through it. So at the top of the draw, we have Carlos Alcaraz. He's got into Kanesh. And right at the bottom, Jannik Sinner. Who does he have?
He has Thomas Mahach. So
a tougher match on paper.
Yeah, they're both quite difficult matches, but I'd say Sinner's is more difficult based upon how good Mahach is on the hard courts. Very hard hitter. If he turns it on, we've seen him really take it to the likes of people like Djokovic, who's been in good form as well. So very tough, I think, that for an opener.
Yeah, other players to note, I think Yuri Lehechka, Brooksby as an opening round match is really good. And also Ugo Humbert Marazan. I know I'm a big fan of Marazan. He's beaten Alcaraz before. I don't think he can beat him now, but let's wait and see. Ugo Humbert playing better. We're seeing a bit of form, maybe the level we know he can produce. And of course, Yuri Lehechka and Brooksby, you don't need to say too much about them because they're just quality players. And I think physically, if Brooksby's at it, he can beat a lot of players. Lehechka is very consistent, even though the last few months maybe not reached that same level. I think Yuri Lehechka has abilities to beat a lot of players too. So fascinated to see who wins out of them matches. And I think that could be influential on the way things go.
Yeah, I'm actually bit disappointed that there's a little bit of overlap between the other tournaments and this tournament. The fact that we're getting Alcaraz and Sinner into this tournament, I would have loved to have seen De Minaur and Felix in this tournament as well, because the way they're playing at the moment, they look so good. They could
Yeah.
be the real challengers, or at least more competition. That's what I want to see. The best players on tour right now. Fritz is playing well this week again. Would love to see him in the mix. Instead, we've got Alcaraz, Sinner, and probably they're not even the second tier now, I would say, of the tour. They're probably more the third tier. And that's sad to say that about Medvedev, but that's just the reality, really, at the moment. Someone like Lerner I'd love to see in this tournament as well. Where's he? He's not in this tournament either. So, yeah, we've got some other big names. Sasha Bublik, Jakub Mensik. Who else have we got in there? Anyone of note? Keep coming
I
up.
think the ones I've said the
Yeah.
ones really who can do something. There's no one else beyond that. Of course, it is only a 500, so not the biggest of draws. Also, what's going to be going on is Rio. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but you've got Francisco Cerundolo, who's playing very well at the moment. He's in Buenos Aires, in Argentina. Favorite maybe for that. He's going to then be playing Rio. You'd think he's going to be playing the Sunshine Double. So there is the different routes to take before coming to the Sunshine Double.
Yeah.
I feel with Cerundolo, he backs himself so much on the clay that he thinks that he can transition quite easily, and I think he can. Plus the fact that he's probably favourite for both events.
Yeah, he's great on the clay, and plus, remember how good he is at Miami in the past. He's looked really good too. So I think his game does translate quite well over into the Sunshine Double. Anyway, I don't expect him to have any problems. I expect him to win this final that he's in today as well. He isn't the favourite, which shocks me. Dardere is the favourite over Cerundolo in Buenos Aires. I'm shocked on that.
It is surprising, but Darderi's playing extremely well. Let's see where he is in the ranking now. Yeah, he's 21. That's his career high.
Wow.
And I think what he did against Baez in the round before, you've got to look at and think, okay, Darderi is a super talented player. If you compare him to some of the other Italian young players out there at the moment, you can make a case that Darderi is right near the top. Is he better than Caboli? I think you can make a case that he can be. That's how good he is, and maybe we don't give him the credit he deserves. I think we're going to see a really big Roland Garros from Darderi. That's going to be one of my wild cards and players to watch for Roland Garros.
Yeah, it's interesting how just a couple of months can change exactly how you were seeing things coming in. Like for me, the Italian to watch was going to be Caboli.
Yeah.
Now it looks like Darderi is going to be like the one who's stepping up, and Caboli's on a format.
Good. Darderi, I don't know. Just like I think sometimes we overlook him a little bit.
Very good,
but on the clay, it's a different animal. Like I'm very excited to see how he does at Roland Garros.
Definitely, and excited to see these other players as well at the Sunshine Double. We've got Fritz back to form, Shelton in form. They're in the final in Dallas. We've got De Minaur and Felix. I think that's the best final you could hope for in Rotterdam. So De Minaur is so good. He is just underneath that level of the top two, really. And Felix on an indoor hard court, you'd say probably is as good as anybody.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough for De Minaur in that final, especially the way that Felix dispatched Bublik. Only dropped 3 games in the semi-final. But if anyone can do it, De Minaur, if he plays his regular level and Felix doesn't, we know that he might come a cropper, but Felix looks so good, he probably will get the win, I think.
He's just the best indoor hardcourt player there is right now. I mean, you can, of course, you got Jannik Sinner there, Novak Djokovic, who aren't too bad, but Felix is a beast. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly believe if there was a Grand Slam on an indoor hardcourt, Felix would probably have a few of them.
Should there not be one? Should we swap? Should we make the US Open indoors or something like that? I don't know.
No, but I've seen some stats, and the stats compared to outdoor hard and indoor hard, I'm not going to go through it all, but there was a good breakdown from Tennis Abstract where they do like an analysis of the two and everything, like with the forehand, backhand, and rally length. He's just a beast when it comes to indoor hardcourt. There's very few people who can differ so much like he does as well. So that's why he is favourite against de Minaur, despite, I think, any other surface, de Minaur beating him in straight sets. I think you can agree. Like, de Minaur beats him every other condition, I feel, apart from an indoor hardcourt. And even then, I'm not saying he can't beat him. Maybe if I had to pick, I feel like I could even still go de Minaur, but I don't know. The bookmakers don't seem to agree.
It's all down to Felix. It's on his racket, I feel, and him handling the nerves. If he handles them, I think he gets the job done.
Yeah.
De Minaur, I think he will play a great level the whole time. Just his highest level isn't high enough to defeat the hard hitters. Moving back to Qatar and in Doha, we've had some qualifiers. The final round of qualifying did finish. Brit made it through. Jan Choinski got through into the tournament. Well done. We got Bear. We got Harris didn't make it through. Carreño Busta did. And Caballas Buena is the final one in the draw. This is where they'll be added to the draw. I believe there's one against Royer. There'll be another one playing Bublik, another one playing Mensik, and another one playing Zhang there. So not the easiest ones to go into the draw, but they're all going to be fairly tough in this type of event, I think. Let's have a look at the routes through for Sinner and Alcaraz, shall we?
Yeah, before we do that, I just want to pose to you something to think about. Is obviously, given our prediction for this one, we're not going round by round.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to come to a solution of an answer of who we think is going to win. So I guess looking at the routes will be helpful. But firstly, do you agree that it is between Alcaraz and Sinner, or do you think someone else can win this?
No, it's between those two.
So
definitely.
Based off those two, let's go through the draws then and see which way you see it going. Because I'm not sure as I'm speaking to you right now. I'd have to have a look at the draws, and I think it's a bit of a feeling and a roll of the dice.
So Jannik Sinners will go through first then.
Okay.
Mahatch first round, Poprin second round, Mensik Zhang quarterfinal, Bublik or Fees semi-final, and then Alcaraz potentially final.
So Alcaraz has Medvedev on his half and Rublev.
Yeah.
But Sinner's got Mensik and Bublik and a harder opening round.
Okay. Harder for Alcaraz. Apart from the opening match.
I think sure. Because Bublik, I think, is better than Medvedev and Rublev right now.
Well, Alcaraz has got two former champions.
But who's the third best player in this draw?
Difficult to say.
For me, it's not Medvedev right now. I would say Bublik.
Yeah, Bublik on this surface, I think. Bear in mind, he's just played a whole week of tennis as well. Obviously, he went out in the semi-finals, but he's back. Will he be fatigued in any way? Maybe. His game will translate better onto these courts.
We agree he's the third best player. That's why
I would say Rublev's close with that just based upon this tournament. That's all, not form or anything. I think that, and if you look here, he's got Khachanov, which possibly could be. He won this tournament. Yeah, Rublev's won it as well. And then if you have to face, it's probably Sinner, you would have thought, in the final. It's pretty tough. I think the first two rounds, I expect Alcaraz to cruise, to be honest.
I think it's quite even. As much as you think Sinner's got, you're saying Alcaraz's got a tougher draw. I would say Sinner does, marginally.
It is weird, though, because it is tough, because the first round's tough, but then I expect him to win the second round and probably the quarterfinal quite comfortably. Then the semi-final could be tough, and the final.
It's not much in it. It's an even draw, but Jannik Sinner's edges it, in my opinion. But let us know in the comment section what you think. And let us know, does it have any meaning, really, the draw? because if we're saying they're both going to make the final anyway, then it's a shootout between the two of them.
What was Alcaraz's odds for winning this? I know you said Sinner was
1.9.
I mean, it's
1.8, 1.9. I've seen it's not much in it.
It's a bit of a toss-up, really.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick, especially after what we've seen at the Australian Open as well. We obviously saw Sinner being defeated for the first time in a long time by Djokovic, but it was by Djokovic, not by anybody else. So you'd expect him to beat everybody else other than Carlos Alcaraz or Djokovic. That's the problem, and with Alcaraz, probably the same.
Okay, I think I know what I'm going for. I'm going to be going for Carlos Alcaraz. I think he's going to beat Jannik Sinner. And I'm predicting Alcaraz to win this event.
I think Jannik Sinner will win this event because I think he's got a point to prove at the moment. I think Alcaraz might still be on that high. He's still not come down off cloud 9 after winning the Australian Open. We could see him just come crashing back down with a little bit of a bumpy ride. Maybe he even has a bit of an off performance and Rublev or someone knocks him out. I don't know. But there's part of me, or maybe he has a really torrid time in one of the other matches that makes me suggest that Sinner will probably have his way with him in the final or something like that. I don't think it's going to be as comfortable for Alcaraz this tournament, but I think Jannik Sinner will see him back to his fully best, I think, in this one.
Okay, fair enough. So we've gone opposite ways. Thoughts on the other finals, because we can give some predictions and thoughts on those. Just before you do, Felix has now made 14 indoor hard court finals among active players, which is like the fourth. So you've got Djokovic, who's made 26 indoor hard court finals, winning 20. Monfils, 18, winning 12. Cilic, 15 finals, winning 9. Felix, not a great record really in finals because he's been to 14 and won 8. So similar to Cilic, really.
But he lost his first 6 or something, though, didn't he? I think that's the difference.
That was just finals in general. I don't know if it was just indoor.
Okay.
And then with Jannik Sinner, 12 finals, 10 titles. I mean, pretty scary. When he makes the finals, he wins them. So Sinner has 2 more titles than Felix on an indoor hard court, but he's made 2 less finals than him.
Yeah, I mean, Jannik Sinner's clinical.
Is that going to be 15 and 9 for Felix? Is he going to win title number 9 and match Cilic?
I think it's for me, I think he probably will win it. De Minaur really needs this title, I think, just to cement himself, just so he can say, I'm still there, I'm still in the running, and I can still beat everyone other than Sinner and Alcaraz. That's what he needs right now, just to get his confidence back up again. A nice title will help with that, I think.
I don't think it looks good for him on the head-to-head. Let me try and bring it up. I think Felix. I feel Felix does better than De Minaur.
Let's have a quick look in there.
But that's just off my memory because I remember we was watching one recently. We watched that one at the US Open, didn't we?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 20 last year. It was
Coldplay.
A 4-setter.
Yeah, we watched that, and Felix just looked a little bit better. But yeah, Felix does seem to be better than him. Yeah, it is tight, and it's going to be a really tough one.
In there.
Okay, I'm going to be going opposite way. I think he's not going to win. I'm going to be backing Alex de Minaur. So we disagree on everything so far.
Sounds about right. Fritz versus Shelton. I'm sure this is another disagreement.
I'm sticking with what I'm saying. I've said this was the final we was going to see. Yep. I was really confident in this final, just like I am with the Alcaraz Sinner one. I didn't see any other way, and I've kind of been saying I think Shelton's going to win it, so I'm going to stick to that.
Yeah,
and you've been saying Fritz.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sticking with mine as well. I thought he would have a comeback tournament where he'd suddenly start playing a bit better. It has proved to be. And this is probably, we're going to differ again on this, or are we going the same? You know where I'm going, putting all my chips on.
I'm just checking the favourite. Who's favourite for Shelton Fritz?
I think Fritz is a slight favourite. Yeah, 1.73. Yeah, so barely anything in it.
Yeah, this one, I don't know. I might actually agree with you. I think I'm probably going to... No, because as much as I've said Baez was my guy to win this tournament...
Yeah.
I did say excluding Cerundolo. So I said we need to pick someone excluding Cerundolo because he's the obvious pick.
This might sway you. I don't know. Might not. The head-to-head between the two is 2-2. Darderi. They played 3 times last year. All of their 4 matches have all been on clay. Darderi won the last one on clay. That was in the semi-final of Bastad. And it was, 3-setter, 7-6 in the third. The times before that, when they played in South America, though, Francisco Cerundolo has won both. Won in Buenos Aires and Rio. So I'm going for the guy who does well in South America. And it's Cerundolo for me.
I think it's tight, but I'm going to be going Cerundolo as well in 3. I think it's going to be a really close, good competitive match.
Yeah, exciting. Cool. That's it. Should we wrap it up there? We've given our thoughts on the draw. Let us know if you think anybody can defeat Alcaraz or Sinner in Qatar. I want to know your thoughts. Can anybody stop them? And tell us your predictions for all of these finals as well. Do you agree with myself or with JG? Give us a like, subscribe, and we'll bring some more videos in the coming days, won't we?
Yeah, because we should also then speak about on the next episode Delray Beach, what's happening, and the women's Dubai. Raducanu's got Cocciaretto opening round. I've seen that. Sakari Ivijovic. So some things to speak about. We'll save it for the next episode. Maybe we'll wait for a round or 2, or we just do a prediction news video or something. Because I've got some thoughts on who I think is going to win that one. But like Ben said, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.